Hey guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage, and today we're going to be working on the 33 3-window project again. So you guys noticed that I've been knocking off a lot of these little fiddly projects. I took care of the door gaps, which was a huge one. I was trying to I was putting that off for quite a while. Got it all welded up and good. The gaps are acceptable for now. Doors are open and shutting nicely. What we did, if you guys missed it in a week in a life of video, we have a viewer, Kevin, staying from out of town, just helping out for a week or so, and he's been giving me a hand doing some fiddly projects under the dash on the 33. So we worked on getting the pedal cluster all finished on it. I had in a video welded it all up, but hadn't fully welded it. The pedals were kind of just heat and bent roughly where they needed to be, but weren't done. And we kind of figured all that out. We actually drilled the holes in the new firewall that I fabricated and put the chrome master cylinders back on. Got that all pretty darn good now. Now we need to move on to a toe board area. So we're just kind of working our way down and back on the car, knocking out these projects that I've been kind of putting off. So today what we're going to work on is building a toe board, toe panel for the car out of sheet metal. I'm going to be using like 18 gauge sheet metal to build it. It's going to need a little bit of shape to go around the bell housing slash trans adapter. And it's going to need to fit around the steering column and whatever else might be in the way. So we'll see what we get into, but hopefully by the end we'll have a little toe board area and have it one step closer to looking like a car. All right, so in the last couple shots, I was hammering and planishing and hammering and planishing, and I didn't even show all the steps that we did. I did that a bunch of times. Might even need a couple more of that. Basically, what I was doing is blocking out the shape. So I was just using the hammer in the sandbag, smashing the crap out of it, taking all your anger out, pumping the shape up, and then I was just using a planishing hammer to kind of refine it and smooth it out a little bit. And then we just went back and forth and test fit it. What we're trying to do is get this toe board to suck in and get the angle to where we want it. And basically every time something was touching, I'd keep hammering it up. We now have it to a point where there is an air gap at the bottom here and the bottom of our panel's hitting, but we want to tip an edge on this so we have a flange that we can actually bolt it into the floor. I tipped an edge on the firewall when we built the firewall originally, thinking ahead for this toe board. So we don't have to do anything up there to just get some threaded inserts. But in the floor here, we need a way to fix it to the floor without it flopping around. So we need to bend a flange. I kind of took a 1/4 screw and measured. It looks like a 3/4 inch flange would probably do it. When we bend that flange, we're actually going to probably have to push the panel in more so that it sits flat on the floor, which may require some additional hammering and pumping up of the shape. So it's just a dance going back and forth, getting it to fit, hammer it. I was ready to give up a couple tries ago, but we're just gonna keep hammering it. We're very, very close, but everything's fitting pretty decently. If we can get this flange bent and get it in where it sits, well, I think we'll be doing pretty good. We have an oil line in the back that we were concerned about, but actually as we're hammering this out, it's kind of giving, I think, a pocket for that to sit in, so that will have plenty of clearance around it for that oil line. On the back of the engine there on the bell housing. So gonna bend the edges on the bead roller because we can't get it in the brake now with that shape we made. So we're gonna actually put 2 little relief cuts on either side of where we shaped it. And then we're gonna take the bead roller and actually run that, tip a line in it. And then we can hand hammer it if we need to adjust the bend just a little bit more. But we're getting close here to having a toe board shaped up for this thing. All right, so the last bit of work was almost a day's work here of doing all the fiddly stuff that is extremely not fun. So I shaped up the toe board yesterday and had a bunch of time in just hammering and stretching and shaping and getting it to sit how we wanted it. Got the flange and all that stuff setting pretty good, but then I had to fix it to the firewall and the floor, which is a lot more difficult than it sounds. So we drilled all the holes in the flange where we had made on the firewall for the toe board to sit, and I actually it was hard to see, I didn't really film it, but I got these little they're like little clips, clip nuts that clip over the edge of a panel exactly for this instance, and then you can thread right through it. It's kind of like an OEM type thing. We had some of them in there, so I used those. It worked out great. And then in the floor, because of not wanting to have a lot of fasteners sticking way down or possibly interfering with the sub rails and things, I ended up just drilling those holes and then TIG welding nuts into the floor so that we could fix it or bolt it in down at the bottom, and everything bolts in. And surprisingly, I only had to egg out like 1 or 2 holes to make everything fit, which there's a lot going on here, so I was pretty proud of that there wasn't I didn't have to weld up and drill another hole. Yeah, overall, it's all fitting up. We got the shifter in, me sitting in it, the pedals are feeling a lot better. So all the work we've done is taken a few days back and forth with all this to get everything how we want. But it is a huge step because this stuff is all what kind of gets me rolling on doing the next thing. So now that I have the toe board done, I can build this little, I guess it's a tunnel, but it's all going to be almost flat, basically just a panel to cover, a trans cover, if you will. By doing that and making that cover, then I have an area to put my foot so I can start figuring out where the gas pedal is going to be, because my foot's going to kind of live right there. I'm also going to clean up all this stuff around, if anybody sees around the floor, it's a little jagged. When we first made this floor, I just plasma cut the opening. So I'll get in there with the belt sander, clean that all up, and then the floors, of course, the tunnel cover piece, trans cover, is going to go over that. So yeah, just going to keep working my way back, tackling all the problems and try and make this stuff fit and work good. But having pedals, a shifter, toe board, it sort of feels like a car inside of here, which is really, really crazy. But hopefully this is interesting to you guys, and if you've been wanting me to do some updates or work on the Ardun car, I'm on it. So I'm going to keep working on it and hopefully keep putting out progress updates regularly. So thanks guys for watching. Catch you later.